Hi, everybody. My name is Miriam, and I'll be your teacher. So glad that you're watching this video because I hope it will be helpful. I'm going to tell you about basics of writing an essay. Sorry it's so long. Skip the parts that are boring. How to write an essay. Let me move this. There we go. This is a bicycle. It's not my bike. All right. So most important thing, read the question. Some people call it a prompt. Read it carefully, annotate the question, write all over it. Make sure you understand it before you start. Plan ahead. This is so important. I'll show you what I like to do. I hope it will be helpful. So brainstorm your outline. Maybe your outline is, you see the theme, bicycles. Brainstorm your outline. Cool bike, right? So for example, three reasons people ride their bikes to work: environment, health, money. Now this is the order that I was just brainstorming, so maybe I'll change it. A lot of times I can't think of a third thing. I may have to walk away, come back, but if I don't have time, try money or try it's not something, right? Well, it's certainly not because they love trying to look for a place to park. Okay, then you have to reorganize the outline. You might put it in order of time, like in a chronological order. You might put it in order of space. That's called spatial order. A lot of essays are written in order of importance, called emphatic order. So this is where you save the best idea you have for last. This is an American thing that we expect to see on American tests. And, it's like dessert, save the best for last. Make sure you have similar ideas next to each other. Make sure the categories aren't the same. If they seem too similar, figure out how to distinguish between them, or you might have to come up with a third, a different idea and put those two together. Why did it do this? Okay. So then you have your final answer. Make sure you keep them in this order in the essay. So the same order as the thesis statement would also have to stay in that order in the actual essay. So you see, I reorganized them to save the environment for last because I think that's more important and that's my opinion. If you think money or health are more important, of course, then you would put those last. It's up to you because you're the writer. Like my hat? Do you need an antithesis? So sometimes it's a great idea. Sometimes you're just trying to cut to the chase. I like to do it. In the book, They Say, I Say, they really want you to include an antithesis at all times. They really emphasize that an antithesis, at least somewhere in the essay, not in the conclusion, would make it more interesting. Consider it. And don't forget the rebuttal. This is the rebuttal, right? And it makes you look smarter to include the antithesis, counter argument. Of course, you need your thesis statement. This is how you're going to do it. All thesis statements have the topic and the argument. That's a thesis statement. Here's some ideas. These are types of essays: cause and effect, exemplification, compare and contrast, definition, classification and division and description, narrative, argument, persuasive. That's like the same thing. People think those are two different things. Let's just say it's the same thing. Some examples of types of thesis statements. There are three reasons. That's a cause and effect. These three examples, that is exemplification. These three examples prove that the similarities and differences of blah, blah, blah are, the word X is often misunderstood. These are just examples. It doesn't have to be it. So similarities and differences is called compare and contrast. The word X is often misunderstood. That's a definition. This one's classification and division. This is a description. This one's a narrative. And this one's an argument or persuasive. And finally, process. I think I skipped that one last time. Process. Make sure your thesis statement is not an announcement, okay? These are examples of announcements that we don't want to see. Maybe you were okay with doing that in high school, but we don't do that in college level writing. It's too friendly. It's not academic enough for college level writing. So don't do these or anything that's similar to those. Why are these like this? Just use the part after the announcement. Where are they? So these X's mean cross out that, oh, there we go. The X's mean cross out that part. Take a minute to read these. So in number 2, notice I didn't say are significant only if you are a baker. No, right? It's totally okay to do this. My daughter refuses to do this, but I like to do this. I like to just get started and then on the body paragraphs because I think it's easier, right? Once you have your thesis statement, I like to do it this way. You don't have to. Make sure your body paragraphs have lots of specific details, examples, specifics. Quotes, numbers, statistics, right? Make sure to cite your source and support your thesis statement, right? Stay focused on the thesis statement. This looks like a hook. It cannot be something that everyone knows, right? Hats go on your head. When it rains, there are puddles, right? We can't have obvious things like human beings generally have 2 arms and 2 legs, right? We can't tell something that everyone knows, except if you're going to disagree, right? So human beings generally have 2 arms and 2 legs. That's not always true. Maybe I'm writing my essay about something about wheelchairs or some other fascinating technology or other, I'm going to disagree with that. That's called a twist. Other hooks, easy hooks, the W question, a relevant quote, shocking statistic, a joke, personal anecdote. That's like a short, very short story that's relevant to the thing. If I'm talking about cancer, maybe I'll start out with my mother had breast cancer, right? Please don't use you here or anywhere else unless it's a process essay. Like I keep saying you, like, because this whole narrative that I'm giving you right now is a process essay, right? This is how you do it. Part 2 of the introduction is called background information, still part of the same paragraph, right? The hook is just 1 sentence. The background information could be a couple of sentences. The hook could be a couple of sentences too. Who, when, and where. Definitely, if you're talking about one main book. And the part 3, the last part usually of your introduction paragraph, the last sentence is the thesis statement. This is purple because it's the best. Okay. You can read. And here's the thesis statement that I ended up with. There are 3 reasons people ride a bicycle to work: money, health, and the environment. Keeping them in the same order. Here's another way to do it. See how it's a tiny bit different? You could do it this way. They're all awesome. Thesis statement, a reasonable person might disagree. Those are not the 3 reasons you ride a bicycle. No, there are 4 reasons. There's only 1 reason that matters: money, environment. Okay, now we're reviewing. Make sure you have transitions, not too many. Every sentence does not start with a transition. Make sure you stay focused. Sometimes some students know that they have to cross something out in every paragraph because they just get randomly off on another topic. Take a look at this super important part. This is called unity. You've been studying about quote sandwiches. We'll study about citing your sources. And at the end of each body paragraph, you should return to your thesis. Double check, save your work. These days, it's not as big of a deal as it used to be, but make sure you have a title so it's easy to find. In conclusion, getting in the home stretch, I love to return to the hook. If I have a clever, creative hook, make sure you've answered the question. If it's a question, make sure you finish the story. If you start out with an anecdote, make sure that you can just finish up where you started. If you had a quote from a famous person, like if you started with Barack Obama, make sure you end up with a Barack Obama. I mean, you don't have to, but it's cool if you do. I love a good analogy. This is what it's like, right? Riding a bike is like, you know, what's it like? It's like flying, or it's like pinching pennies. Or what is it like? You have to restate. I don't know why there's a capital letter M there, in a new way. Make sure to have a transition like one of these. Make sure you have an original title. Don't just use the title of the assignment. Pay attention to title capitalization. It's not this. Okay. Avoid plagiarism. We're going to go over this more soon, but this is really important. No 3 words in a row. List the names of tutors. Try to cite your sources at the end. Make sure you have everything you need for sure, and this if you need it or if you want it. Okay, we'll give you a second to read this. Go pause if you need more time. Good luck. I downloaded this picture from the internet. I thought it was funny, kind of funny. These other guys are carrying. This is you. They're carrying you, right? All right, whatever. Have a great day. Good luck. You got this.